Welcome back to jensmeramecvalleyhome, and today we're going to be talking sourdough starter. I've had a few people ask me about how to make it, how to get it started, what all goes into it, and you'd be amazed. It's really very, very simple, and you really can't go wrong with it. It's just flour and it's water and a good stir every day. It does take about 7 days for it to get to a point where you could actually use it, but you'll be so glad you did, and then you'll have it. You can just keep it going all the time, and you'll always have starter for your sourdough bread. So it's a fermentation process, and it does not need to be refrigerated once we do this today. So if you're interested in doing this, like I said, I had a couple of people ask me about it. So I'm going to go ahead and do a video on it and do the step-by-step process. And it is a really, like I said, a really easy process. So with that, we will get started here in just a minute. All right, so we're ready to get started. We've got our general all-purpose flour. We have a quart canning jar. We do have our seal, the ring. I like to use a coffee filter. It works great for this purpose of sealing that ring down over top of that. And of course we've got our measuring cups. That's all we're going to need, and I'll put it in the description box down below. So what we're going to do first is we're going to, and we also need our wide mouth canning funnel. It'll make it a little bit easier to get the the flour into the jar. And I need to get my cup of water, or half cup of water, so I'll be right back. Okay, so I got my wide mouth canning jar funnel, and I've got my water over here. So all we're going to do is we're going to take a cup of flour. And like I said, that's just all-purpose flour. It's not really, it's not self-rising, it's just all-purpose. Pull this over here where you can see it a little bit better. Okay, so here we go. Got our 1 cup. And then we're just going to pour a half a cup cold water into the jar. And we're going to stir it. Until it's all combined. Let me get my okay. Oh, you guys be nice over there. Let me get my fork. I think it's gonna work a little bit better. But you're gonna want to work all that flour in. All right, so this is a little dry, and it is okay to add a little bit more water if you need it. It really needs to be kind of like a paste. Add a little bit more water and just kind of work it in. Work all that flour in. Till it becomes kind of that little bit of wet consistency there. Just going to add the rest of that and just gauge it. So it should basically be where you can just stir it. So as you can see, it's kind of a wet mixture, and that's how we want it. So we can do our sealing now. Now what we're going to do is we're going to put this over top. It's really great, and then we're just going to put our little seal down on it, and we're going to leave it like this, and we're going to put it in a warm spot of your kitchen, wherever that might be. Let me clean up a few things, and I'll be right back with you. Okay, friends, this is what we have right here. I'm going to set it in the warmest place in my kitchen, which is probably going to be over here on my counter. That seems to be the warmest place for me. And then we're going to come back tomorrow, day 2 and day 3. We're going to add the same ingredients. We're going to add a cup of flour. This is what we call feeding it. So we're going to add a cup of flour, and we're going to add a half a cup of water. Now, like I said, if you do need a little bit more water, it's okay to do that. But we just want to make sure it's stirred up real good, and then you put your you can either use a filter like this, or you can use some plastic wrap if you wish. Put it over the top of that, and then put your lid on it and screw it down. But you want it to be able to breathe too, so make sure, you know, it's just one of those two things that you use. So for the days 2 and 3, we're going to add that cup of flour. We're going to add that half cup of water, a little bit more. We're going to stir it, and we're going to do that twice a day. We're going to do it in the morning. We're going to do it in the evening. And we're going to do that through day 7. So each day we're going to feed it. And it's good to put it someplace, you know, in your kitchen where you're not going to forget about it. So like your counter, just someplace where, you know, you're usually at, so that you know or remember that it's there, is a good place to be. we're the thing with sourdough starter is that you really can't go wrong with it. If it does start looking a little moldy as the days go on, you just throw it out and you start all over again. I've had that happen before, and that's really all you can do. Now, days 1 through 5, like between tomorrow or tonight and the next 5 days, it could smell not that great. It could smell a little sour, is what I'm trying to say. But don't fret over that, because that's all right. You know, as long as it's not moldy, you know, you don't have any mold growing on top of it, then you're fine. But by day 7, you should smell this really good yeast smell coming out of that jar, and it should be bubbly as well. And you should start to see some bubbles as the days go by. So what you want to do is you just want to keep track of it every day. You want to feed it every day. I'm going to check back with you all in another day or two, and we're going to see how everybody's doing. And we'll make sure that this makes the beginning of a beautiful sourdough starter for you, because there's so many things you can make with it. You know, bread is not the only thing. And before I forget to tell you also is that if you're going to make bread every week, you know, some people do and some people don't, you can keep this in the refrigerator, but you still have to feed it the same way every single day. But it's best if you're making bread every week, and I can show you, I have some recipes for that, and some of them are really easy. I've got one for a crock pot bread, and it is just wonderful. It turns out great. So I would suggest trying some of these breads with this, but and you can use wheat flour too as well for this. So, but what you're gonna find with this is that the bread is gonna be so good. It'll just taste so wonderful, and you'll always have fresh starter there in your refrigerator or out on your counter if you need it or when you need it, so that you can make your bread. You can also make, you know, banana breads, different kinds of breads, zucchini breads, any kind of bread you can make with this starter. So I've got mine started. I hope you got yours started, and pretty much we're going to check back. I'm going to check back with y'all and see how you're doing. And if you have any questions or comments or concerns, you can leave them in, you know, you can email me. I have my email in the description box. If you like this video, please put your, you know, little like, you know, thumbs up down there, description box, and subscribe, and please share these videos. There's so many people out there that don't know how to do these things, and you know, some people don't necessarily look them up online. They prefer to watch them. So just share these videos, and it helps me out a lot too. So with that, that's all I've got for you for today, and we'll check back in a few days. We'll see how this is going, and like I said, if it's going well, we'll get it. I'll keep feeding it. If not, you know, if for some reason it gets moldy, we'll just have to throw it away. But we're starting it, so just keep feeding it and helping it get to that fermentation, through the fermentation process. So you all have a great day, and thank you for visiting my kitchen, and love you guys. And as always, don't let your heart be troubled. Hey there. I think I forgot to tell you something yesterday, guys, when I was doing the video for the sourdough starter. So you're going to need to take a half a cup out each time. This is twice a day. Take a cup out, discard the rest, and then put that half a cup back into your jar, and then add your cup of general all-purpose flour and your half a cup of water, or a little more if you need it. So I just wanted to let you know that. I'm sorry I left that out, but I remembered, and I wanted to tell you. So have a great day. Hope your starter's doing well.